Schools are very, very important, ladies and gentlemen. In particular, we are gathered here for high school students. Many of these high school students, of course, will be now going to the workforce. Some of them will be going to the workforce very soon. They'll, of course, in a few years' time, you may find it a bit funny, but you'll be raising your own families. You'll be having your own children. You, of course, will want to buy a first house or build your first house. You'll be wanting to travel overseas. You'll be wanting to buy your first car. These are all the realities that face the young people of Fiji. It is very, very important, therefore, before I start on as to what's available to them or for them, is for the parents to understand that the government for the past 2 years now has been providing free education, free tuition fees. What that means is that your children now have the ability to attend school without necessarily you having to pocket the tuition fees. It also has meant that many students now are attending high schools where many of them would not have attended previously because of the fact that tuition fees are now paid. The other, of course, aspect of it is that we provide subsidized bus fares. We now give free medicine, subsidized electricity, free water. All of these actually initiatives by the government helps parents, helps families to ensure that their children attend school. It is therefore very, very important for the parents to understand that they need to take a particular level of responsibility to ensure that they give the right level of support to the children. Because if the children do not get that support, then the ability to perform at school will be diminished. And it is therefore very, very important that we as a community, as a society, focus on that particular aspect. Because a well-educated community, a well-educated country means much better prospects for that country. It means that individually, these students, when they go out into the workforce, they'll be able to get better jobs. They'll be able to contribute a lot more productively to our society. I think the rest of my talk, I want to primarily focus on the young students. Of course, many of you would be voting very soon. Those of you are going to turn 18, you'll become voters. As you know, the voting age has now been reduced to 18. And you are therefore given a responsibility to choose the next government and the government after that. It is therefore very, very critical for all of you to understand what is actually happening in your society. It is very critical for you to also understand and analyze what is happening in your society. You need to be able to be focused on the future. You are the future. You are the leaders of tomorrow. Some of you will become leaders very, very quickly in your own communities very soon. When you go out to work, if you become a manager, if you become a supervisor, you are a leader in your own organization. You have families. You are a leader in your own house with your spouse. These are the types of leadership qualities that we need to understand are actually happening in society all the time. And therefore it is incumbent upon you to take a very responsible attitude and a responsible approach to that. So what we are saying to you, that as young people, the government is very much focused on providing you with very good opportunities. We want to create employment opportunities for you. We are giving you better education. We are putting in a lot of money to roads, water, electricity, to get that level of connectivity that all of you can have. And also at the same time, by growing the economy, it means there are more job opportunities, more employment opportunities. Some of you, of course, who are leaving Form 7 would be applying for the tertiary education loan scheme, or you'd be applying for the Toppers scholarship. Please do so. If you have done well, apply for that. If you have not done so well, still apply for that. Because it's government's objective that every person that gets a place in university must attend university. If you don't get a scholarship, if you cannot afford to go to university, your family cannot afford to do that, we will pay for you to go to university. And that you pay us back later on once you start working. And that's at the minimum interest rate, and some of you won't even have to pay an interest rate. We have, as a result of that, now seen before under the old scholarship scheme, only about 6,000 or 7,000 students used to get assistance. Now there's about 15,000 to 16,000 students that are getting more assistance. So in about 4 or 5 years' time, we'll have a very well-educated workforce. So the opportunities are there for you. You are the new dynamics in our country. We have a lot of faith in the young people. We're putting a lot of trust in you. But also at the same time, you must act responsibly. Read the right newspaper. Read the right news stories. Get the right information. In Fiji, unfortunately, we are very prone to rumor mongering. Oh, that person said that, and after the 10th person, the story changes. Find out the facts for yourself. Use social media responsibly. Use Facebook responsibly. Because it is very critical that you have the right information, you have the correct information to be able to make the right decisions. And that is very, very important. In the same way, we have a lot of prejudice in our society, not just in Fiji, but many other parts of the world. We have, for example, seen terrorism on rise. We made a statement on Sunday that everywhere in the world, every right-thinking person, no matter what religious belief you have, we must all stand up and speak out against any acts of terror. If you're a Muslim and a Muslim commits terrorism, you must still speak out against it. If you're a Christian and a Christian commits an act of terrorism, you must still speak out against it. Just because they have the same faith as you, it does not mean you don't speak out. Because all religions teaches everybody to respect the sanctity of human life. Nobody has the right to take another person's life, in particular an innocent person's life. So you must have that level of commitment to humanity. You must have that level of responsibility to be able to speak out in your community, in your country, as long as you speak the truth. Do not ever fear speaking the truth. Do not ever feel mandua speaking about the truth. It is very, very critical. If you only speak the truth, you have nothing to worry about. If you are not corrupt, you have nothing to fear. You can walk down the street with a head held high. When the men, you are shaving your face in the morning, when you're looking at yourself in the mirror, you can look at your eyes in the mirror. The ladies, when you're putting on your makeup, you can look at yourself in the mirror when you're putting on your makeup. This is the type of attitude we must all have. To be able to look at yourself in the mirror and know you've done the right thing. We have seen in Fiji a very unacceptable level of increase in sexual abuse, in domestic violence. These are the very worrying aspects of our community. And you'll know, most of you probably know this, but most of these offenses, domestic violence, sexual offenses, are committed by the very people who the victims know, generally. We must speak out against it. Men must learn to respect women a lot better. You do not become a greater man just because you've beaten up a woman. In fact, you're a coward if you do that. You're a coward if you do that. In the same way, we should not be sexually abusing children, sexually abusing women, or boys. We've seen that. These are some very critical issues in our society. Do not be led by people who use ethnicity, or some people, as they say, race or religion, to try and obscure over the real issues. As I've said previously, when some people, they talk about appointments on various public boards, when they talk about people being given various positions, they automatically, not everybody, some people start thinking, oh, that person's been appointed because they're from that province, or because they go to that church, or because they have that faith. Do not think like that. The question you should be asking, does that person know? Is that person the right person for that job? Because the example that I've used, as some of you may have water problems or have electricity problems, when the electricity stops working, do you ask who the engineer is in FEA? Do you ask what faith they belong to? Do you ask what province they come from? What ethnicity they belong to? No. What you want is the electricity to work. When there is no water in your tap, and the water stops running in your tap, what do you want? You want the water in your tap. How do you get the water in your tap? You get the best engineer to fix up the water system. That's how we should think. All countries in this world has become great when they have a national approach. when they think nationally, when they don't think communally, but they think nationally. All of us today stood up and sang the national anthem. We should be proud of our country. We should feel good about our country. We all get together when the Fiji plays the rugby sevens. We all fly the flag. When Fiji loses, we throw away the flag. Or when they win after a week, we celebrate, then we forget about it. You go to a soccer match. When they play, they ask everybody to stand up for the national anthem. Some people won't stand up. Or even they do stand up, they've got a cigarette in their mouth. Or they don't stand to attention. These are the things we need to be thinking about. You have to be proud of your country. How will we progress? These young people, your future is in this country. In the same way, I've seen so many people, when you're driving along the road and you see the car in front of you, they're eating the twisties and just throw the packet out. They're drinking the bottle of Coke, they just throw the bottle out once they finish with it. The rubbish has to end somewhere. The rubbish is ending in your own country. The rubbish is ending in our own drains, in our own sea, in our own rivers. It does not cost you anything to throw that rubbish in the rubbish bin. It does not cost you a single cent. So you see, if you start thinking about your country, if you start taking a national approach, automatically things will improve. Automatically things will improve. The Bainimarama government, the FijiFirst government has taken that approach. Our approach is, we must help everybody that needs assistance. And we don't discriminate. If there's a village that needs water, we'll give it to them. We don't ask who they voted for. When some homes needs water, we don't ask who they voted for. We don't ask their religion, we don't ask their ethnicity. We know that they are poor people, they are needy people, we'll help them. All we know that they are all Fijians. That's the motto. If we all approach and take that motto, Fiji will become a lot better pace. A lot more jobs will be created. A lot more economic opportunities will be created. And we'll become a lot more stable. And socially, we'll become a lot more cohesive. So ladies and gentlemen, my message to you, to the young people here who are graduating, I wish you all the best for your future. Those of you who of course are sitting upstairs there, you obviously aren't graduating today, but I'm sure you'll be there one day. So also to you, please work hard. And I also ask the teachers, please ensure that you must encourage your students to ask questions. We must get away from rote learning. Rote learning may sometimes be good only for exams, but we must, if a country is to philosophically develop, is to intellectually develop, we must be able to ask questions. We must be able to be critical of issues, challenge ideas, not for the sake of challenging it, but because you want to know more, because you want to push the boundaries more. So that is a message for all of you. I'd like to thank all the parents once again who are here. You obviously are very supportive of your children, of your grandchildren who may be here. So thank you for your support. Thank you for the teachers, of course. Teaching children or students is not a very easy thing. They are like the second parents. Some parents sort of drop off the kids, or they all go off to school in the morning at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. and you don't see them till probably 4 or 5 a.m. In that long period, they are with the teachers. So the teachers are like the second parents. I think we probably should put all our hands together for all the teachers, ladies and gentlemen. And probably a louder applause for all the parents too. I'd like to also acknowledge the school committee. Most schools in Fiji, ladies and gentlemen, are run by school committees. Whether they communities that have been put together, the school committees have been put together by the committees, communities have put together the committees, or whether they've been faith-based organizations. And they're doing a wonderful job, and government obviously wants to work together with them. And I look forward to meeting many of you after this, and I wish you all a very good morning. Good night, thank you.